What up, guys? James from Bull Pros here, hanging out in my backyard. Just want to do a quick video about Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Let's talk about them. A lot of rumors going on with Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, meeting with Jim Harbaugh. So let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. Bull Pros, let's go.
I'm Deion Henley. You watching the Bull Pros podcast? Let's do it!
All right, guys. Once again, appreciate the support and love. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. We always love to be able to hear from you, so throw in some comments below about what we're talking about today. So let's go ahead and just chat a little bit about Khalil Mack here. You know, Khalil Mack obviously was a baller last year for us. Balled out for us, has been solid acquisition to our team. One of the bigger moves the Chargers have made in a very long time of going after a playmaker like Khalil Mack. 52 has been a stud for us. Now, once again, him coming over has cost us a lot of money. It's been kind of a pricey acquisition for us. I mean, just alone, he's got kind of a cap hit of around $23 million, I believe, right now, when we're $25 million over the salary cap. So if the rumors are true, which it seems like it's very much true and a real thing, that there's going to be a potential of trading Khalil Mack, you know what? If they trade him, whoever acquires him, you would think would have to take all of the salary at that point. So give or take $23 million cap hit. You'd have to start looking at some teams that have a lot of salary out there. You know, one that kind of comes to mind is the Texans. They got a lot of salary cap out there. They could easily go out there and try to trade for Khalil Mack and put a nice, you know, another end to that team, which is obviously a very beastly defense over there and did great last year. That's one of those teams that you might want to kind of look at just as an idea, who has a lot of salary cap. Also, one other thought that I've had is, you know, Joe Ortiz has chatted a lot about liking comp picks. What if there's a way they find a way to be able to keep Khalil Mack, keep, say, Mike Williams, keep, you know, Joey Bosa, keep Allen, which seems like a sure thing, and to be able to find a way to be able to make it happen. And then when he leaves, maybe we'll get a comp pick out of that. He'll sign somewhere else, get a nice fat contract somewhere else. Yeah, he's getting a little bit up there in age, but you got to go back to Von Miller and what he signed with Buffalo. That was a massive contract for an older guy. So if Khalil Mack balls out again this year and says he stays with the Chargers, I mean, you could kind of look at it as maybe we could get a comp pick out of this guy. So either which way, a lot of rumors going on right now with Khalil Mack and trades. When will happen? I'm not sure. Right now with the combine going on, Joe Ortiz had a couple of interviews earlier today. You know what? We'll see. These are when the GMs start chatting. They start giving ideas, bouncing ideas off of each other. It's a very, very good place to be able to see where it's going to go. Obviously, the league year starts in about March 13th, I believe it is. So things can happen before then. It just doesn't become official until the league year starts. So keep an eye on it, guys. Khalil Mack might be on the move. I really wouldn't like him to move because I think he's been a solid piece for this team all around. But keep an eye out for it, guys. It seems like that he's going to be that one guy, too, that could be on the move. Now, going on and moving on to Joey Bosa, you know, Raisin Bran over here. I think it's so funny how he's just sitting there eating Raisin Bran, hanging out, watching the team play in a suite. Interesting thing about Joey Bosa, there was some rumors even about him getting traded, too. But, you know, I think it's with the pistachio competition that Joey Bosa was in. He ended up chatting a little bit about Jim Harbaugh in meeting with him. He pretty much said really good things about him. And I think every player that's on this team has only said great things about Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, there's not a lot that, you know, most players will say bad about a coach, but he did meet with Jim Harbaugh for about 30 minutes to about an hour time per the article. And he basically got a very great impression from him. He basically was kind of just saying, like, man, there's a lot of special traits about this guy. This is a guy that looks like he's going to be that head coach that's really going to get this team in the right direction. You know, he could be that guy that could be a culture changer for your team. Basically what he said is, I think he seems like a really genuine guy, which you don't find a lot in coaches all the time. he's interesting. He loves football more than anything. And I think all he wants to do is win. The way he talked about his feelings towards the job and towards the future is pretty exciting. Look, Joey Bosa is a stud, and he's a very, very good player. Issue is just staying on field. And, look, you look at Jim Harbaugh, you bring in Ben Herbert, a guy that has a fantastic track record of getting guys in shape, playing to what their style of football is, keeping guys healthy all around. The guy knows how to build winners and make the best out of each player. Now, I do feel that the 4 guys that are potentially going to get moved would be like Keenan Allen, who seems like a complete lock at this time. You can't move away from him. Mike Williams, that's a questionable one coming off a knee injury too, as a cut or trade situation. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are the other 2. Now, Khalil Mack seems to be the guy that seems to be the one that everybody's trying to go after for a trade. He seems to be the guy that a lot of teams are interested in. Obviously, he's an aging guy, but he's still a very, very solid player all around. He is one of those guys that could be the move. I've always kind of put Joey Bosa on the bubble. And the big thing is, though, is you got a big contract with him, which isn't as big as Khalil Mack. I mean, it's give or take a $14 million cap hit this year. But it's one of those guys that if you could just get this guy healthy, you could get a very, very solid year out of this guy. You got Tuli Tuipulotu on the other side. You would love to be able to have another vet on the opposite side of the line to be able to help Tuli develop even further. So the big part of it is with Joey Bosa is staying healthy all around. And you would hope to think that he's not going to just stay out in Florida, working out with his brother and his dad out in Florida. You would hope that he's going to be in the locker room working with Ben Herbert, getting him right all around. Now, my thing is, there's a couple of players out there that have talked about some of their injuries that they've had. And since Joey Bosa's had multiple injuries all around, it's hard to be 100% back to who you were as a player. Obviously, age creeps in too. It slows your body down a bit, but injuries take a toll on your body. Now, it's hard to sometimes be able to have a full recovery back to your, full capacity as a player. My hopes is that Joey Bosa could really get his body in shape and be to where he's supposed to be as a player. It did also seem a little bit like he was kind of a little bit over the coaching staff. He wanted to move on a little bit from, Brandon Staley, which ended up happening. He obviously got put on the IR, was eating his Raisin Bran in the suite. But I do feel like maybe this is just me, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I think Jim Harbaugh was making some shots and calls to keep players sitting on the sidelines and not let them play. Joey Bosa being one of those guys, Keenan Allen being one of those guys. Obviously, Justin Herbert was one of those guys, which he was seemingly out for the season anyhow. But keeping those guys and protecting those guys that he wanted to be able to have on his team, maybe he was making a couple calls and making sure Joey Bosa might have been one of those guys that it keeps on the sidelines. So bottom line, guys, we have a good situation going on right now. Salary cap was increased much higher all around. Just one of these moves where if you just move, say, Khalil Mack, you'll be only $2 million over the salary cap. And then restructures could happen. Extensions could happen. A lot of ways that we could create cap space all around for this team. So I'm excited about what this is going to happen here and how this team's going to construct and where we could get more possible draft capital for this draft and beyond. So once again, guys, Joe Ortiz, Jim Harbaugh are going to do some great things to be able to get this team moving forward. And I'm excited for it. So appreciate the support. Love, guys. Once again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We want to hear from you. Throw some comments below. What's your thoughts? Do you think Khalil Mack's going to stick around? Is he going to get traded? What do you think about Joey Bosa? Will he be sticking around too? And do you hope better things for Joey Bosa this year and a nice healthy season for him up and coming if he sticks with the team? So once again, guys, appreciate the support. I'm James, Bolt Bros. Let's go.